Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weishuttle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weishuttle. Doug, how you doing? I'm all sterilized and everything like that. I have my disinfectant that I put all over my hands, and I cleaned up my workspace, so I am a very conscientious worker. So I'm very clean and no viruses on me.
That's not going to help.
I know.
Honestly,
I know. We just got back from the store, and I was like, I think all those disinfectant gels are off the shelves. So,
hey, I will tell this story again. I've been telling everyone who I've been talking to about this. Saw a guy walking down the street with a mask on. He was nice and happy and everything.
How do you know he had a mask on?
Well, listen to this. He had a cough, so he took the mask off.
Okay.
Coughed, sneezed, put his mask back on, and went along his merry way.
That pretty much defeats the purpose of a mask. But I got to tell you, it's
a lot. It's so many different things I'm hearing about this stuff.
It's kind of scary out there. We're in sports books, we're in casinos, and we're always around big crowds. And you're thinking about it when you're out there. So especially now, if you're in a stadium, I think the NBA has new rules on it. They're
the NHL is looking at doing games in empty stadiums just to televise them. NHL.
And I just read a news story about I think pro poker players are taking bets to see if the World Series of Poker actually is canceled or not. So it's getting a little weird, getting a little strange out there.
We just had a casino out west actually closed down. One of their employees was diagnosed with the coronavirus. Certain ones in China and also still Macau are still extending their shutdown. I mean, you have Macau almost down 90% in revenue from the last month here because of the shutdown.
It's pretty scary. Well, busy week in sports, but you know what? We have a great show coming up for you. I get to talk to a really great interview. It's the Assemblyman Ralph Caputo from the Assembly of New Jersey. He's the chairman of Tourism, Gaming, and the Arts Committee for the New Jersey Assembly. And get this, he just proposed a bill in New Jersey in order to make betting on eSports legal. So let's see how that comes out.
Sort of a little bit of a homecoming for us, too, because we both interned in the New Jersey Assembly way back when we were college kids.
No, it's going to be great to hear from Assemblyman Ralph Caputo. And then we're going to have the book report where we talk about what's going on in the sports book across the country. And then we're going to have a by the numbers section. So that's always a fun thing. You throw out a number and I try and guess what you're talking about. I never get it right. So it's always fun.
It's easier when I just tell you what the numbers are and what they mean.
Yeah. Well, it's been a busy week in sports, so let's take a trip down the Turnpike. And today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store available in over 95 cities across North America. Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today, and now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Okay, we don't normally get to talk about golf too often in the sports betting exit. And,
I love betting on golf.
Well, you will now have a brand new place. You will now have a brand new place to go and get your betting content for golf because the PGA Tour has just done a deal with the Action Network.
Great.
To launch what they're calling Golf Bet.
Golf Bet.
Golf Bet. It's going to be golfbet.com, and also on the Action Network, there's going to be a dedicated area just for golfing content.
I first got into betting on golf when I think it was 2 years ago. The Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson golf-a-thon. I don't know what the hell they called it, but it was just you were betting on every hole, and it was great. I hope they do something like that in the future.
In some instances, I think you were betting on every shot, too.
Almost, pretty much, yeah. So it was fun.
But PGA Tour, this just happened. They're going to be doing a partnership with the Action Network, which is going to include a rebranding of all of the Action Network's existing and future golf content on their website and app under the Golf Bet name. And also, you're going to be seeing content from the Action Network distributed across the PGA Tour's digital channels.
Okay.
You're going to see topics like betting strategy, analytics. You're going to see written stuff, videos, podcasts, as well as editorial content. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how PGA Tour gets more and more into betting. They've always wanted to. This is the second betting deal, technically, for them. They did one with IMG Arena, who just did a deal with the NHL, as a matter of fact, and we could talk about that later. But IMG Arena, they created the ShotLink data system.
Okay.
Which is basically, if you've watched golf lately, you get to see the distance, the apex, the curvature.
You mean when they hit the ball, you see the line going from the club head to where the ball lands?
And also the speed of the golf club, all that stuff, the tracking stuff for the speed, everything down the fairway, each hole. That's also going to be part of this deal. And it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this evolves. Are we going to start seeing in-match betting stuff starting to happen, too?
I would think there is already.
IMG Arena is one of the leaders in all this technology. And, it's laying the groundwork for some really interesting stuff by the PGA Tour coming down the road here.
Oh, great.
Exit 2.
Remember a couple shows back, we talked about the U.S. Navy going all in on eSports sponsorships.
Yep.
I think we talked about something like 97% of their advertising budget was going to be part of eSports, or eSports was going to be 97%.
I would think that the age of the people who participate in eSports would be in the U.S. Navy's demographic. They want to advertise to them, because, they're that age where they're looking for a career. So I would think the Navy would want to capitalize on that.
Well, the Navy has gone ahead and not just done one partnership. They've done several. Wow. And I'll read these off to you. U.S. Navy has partnered with Twitch, ESL, Double Tap, and Evil Geniuses.
Okay.
Yeah, Evil Geniuses. It's a great name for this stuff, but Evil Geniuses and the Navy are going to work together to create the Navy's first ever Counter-Strike Global Offensive eSports squad. Evil Geniuses is going to run the tryouts. They're going to pick the best of the Navy cadets or crewmen that actually apply to do the team. And they're going to field a team for a lot of upcoming eSports tournaments coming down the road here. Twitch, their partnership with Twitch is a 6-episode miniseries unveiling how sailors rely on the same strategic thinking, sensory perception, and decision-making skills that Evil Genius will be using to select their team.
Let me ask you something. I remember a movie in the 80s, I believe it was.
War Games?
No. There was a video game, and this kid was really good at this video game, and it was tapped into...
The Last Starfighter.
It was tapped into extraterrestrials who put that game on Earth to find the best fighters who can control their machines.
The Last Starfighter.
I wonder if the Navy's trying something like this. The best people with the best hand-eye coordination doing these games.
I wonder if the U.S. Space Force will be doing this.
Space Force. It's that's what came to mind.
Yeah. And by the way, The Last Starfighter.
That's what it was called, The Last Starfighter.
The Last Starfighter. Atari did all the special effects for it.
Oh, there you go.
There's where the video came in. But again, Twitch is going to be doing a 6-episode miniseries. Double Tap will be developing what they're calling the Navy role comparison video content. It's going to be comparing the top eSports players with their counterparts in the Navy. So there's a whole lot of stuff they're going ahead with all this stuff, and it's going to be fun to watch. Again, you said it best. Navy's demographic are the esports kids.
Yep.
Exit 3.
One of the big things that a lot of people have been talking about, especially since the fight that just happened on pay-per-view, the Wilder Fury 2 fight, was theft of signal.
What does that mean, theft of signal?
People were watching illegally.
Were people streaming illegally?
Yeah.
They kind of
it affected the bottom line of the fighters because they were getting a chunk of the pay-per-view each.
Yeah, well, let me tell you what affects the pay-per-view, too. A lot of people are watching it in sports books now. A lot of people are watching it in bars. A lot of people are watching it over their friend's house.
Well, you got to remember,
you're missing a lot of people who would buy and watch it individually, and no one watches these things individually. They're with a big group.
You got to remember, sports books, bars, all have different tiers of licenses to show this thing. But what they're talking about, and let me just get the numbers here. This total sales figures for the pay-per-view was between 800 and 850,000 pay-per-view purchases. That's 25% lower than what they needed to break even.
Wow.
They needed 1.2 million sales. According to this company called VFT Solutions, which all they do is track signal piracy, there were between 10 and 20 million live views of the fight on social media platforms such as Twitter and Facebook, and nearly 10 million more that were viewed as video on demand. That none of them paid for the fight.
That fascinates me how they do it. You always see if there's a baseball game out of market, people always say, here, you can watch the stream here on Twitter or Facebook. And I'm wondering, how do they get that feed?
It's just one of those things where if you have the technology and you know what you're doing, you could rip off the signal. It's just like anything else out there. It's a matter of if you want to do it. There's always a market for somebody who doesn't want to pay for the pay-per-view fight.
Exit 4.
Well, if you ever wanted to work out like Tom Brady, you will now have a chance if you stay at the Four Seasons Hotel in Boston.
Okay.
The Four Seasons Hotel Boston, just the one in Boston, has partnered with TB12, Tom Brady's performance lifestyle brand.
Yeah, I wonder what that is. I got to check that out. Is it really
pliability?
I don't know what pliability means. Is this workout rubber ropes and stuff like that? What do you call those things? I don't even know.
The bands.
Yeah, the rubber bands.
The resistance bands.
Is that basically what it is? I don't know what TB12 is.
Well, according to the Four Seasons in Boston, that property's fitness center will now offer a curated assortment of TB12 functional products. They're not called fitness products. They're called functional products.
Okay. Oh, do you have a list of what they are?
They do include looped and handle resistance bands.
Okay.
So the stretchy things.
The stretchy things. I
prefer call them stretchy things.
Stretchy things.
Basically, the things you see on YouTube that hit the guy in the nuts or the in the face when they're trying to exercise, and it's kind of funny.
Okay.
So you're going to see that. They're also going to install a custom-made turf, so you can train like Brady. You're going to be able to incorporate recovery elements into your workout, like rehab. If you're hurt, that sort of thing, you're going to be able to do stretching.
This is all at the hotel?
This is all going to be at the property's fitness center, the Four Seasons Hotel Boston.
Now, is this fitness center only going to be for guests, or can you join this fitness center? Or
this is only for guests.
Oh, okay. So if you're recovering from an injury
and you
happen to be staying in Boston at the Four Seasons, you can go down and get some rehabilitation. Is that what that's called?
This is also going to be available to people who don't need rehabilitation. They just want to do
just work out. Okay.
They're launching the TB12 Experience Package for people who want to, and this is the phrase they use on their website, who wish to fully immerse themselves in the TB12 lifestyle.
Okay.
An overnight stay in a luxury accommodation at the Four Seasons Hotel Boston.
Mm-hmm.
A personalized 90-minute one-on-one hands-on muscle pliability session with a TB12 body coach. A TB12 plant-based protein and electrolytes to optimize performance and recovery. So I guess they're getting a special meal.
Okay.
And a TB12 on-the-go looped band kit, so you can work out wherever you travel.
So they're resistant bands. I guess that's the
heart and soul of it.
Thing, the heart and soul of it.
And just in case you're wondering, the TB12 experience package, depending on the rooms that you want,
all right,
they start at $1,200,
which isn't bad. Well, you're at the Four Seasons. What do you expect?
Four Seasons, Boston.
Yeah. And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And to get in touch with Turnpike Sports, call or text us at 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports are the social media handles on Facebook and Twitter. Info at turnpikesportsradio.com is our email address. Don't forget to subscribe to the show through Pandora Podcasts, the radio.com digital app. You can also listen to the show at iTunes, iHeartMedia, Stitcher Radio. We've got an OTT channel that airs on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. TurnpikeSports.net for the OTT channel. And, you'll be able to also look at the YouTube channel on the TurnpikeSportsRadio.com website.
And stick around, because coming up is my conversation with New Jersey Assemblyman Ralph Caputo, who's the chairman of the Tourism, Gaming, and the Arts Committee for the New Jersey Assembly. We're going to talk about casino sports betting and his proposed eSports betting bill. And then we're going to have a book report, then Turnpike Sports by the number section. So pretty full show. So come back with Turnpike Sports.
Hey, this is Dave Weishuttle from Turnpike Sports with this week's Bet Flash. For the first time in history, Nevada has released its online sports betting figures. According to the Gaming Control Board, the Silver State took $245.8 million worth of bets from its online and mobile platforms. This accounts for 48.9% of the state's overall handle of $502.5 million. PointsBet has inked a deal with the XFL, allowing it to become an authorized gaming operator of the new league. According to the agreement, PointsBet will have access to league content and official league data, along with PointsBet being integrated into the digital content of the league. And finally, sports betting could finally become a reality in Washington, D.C. According to Nicole Jordan, who is a spokeswoman for the D.C. Lottery, the city's official sports betting app could launch as early as late March. Brick-and-mortar sports books are expected to be launched over the coming months. From the seaside to the desert, from the betting lines to the sites online, Turnpike Sports has got you covered. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Turnpike Sports.
Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
I love getting my kids ready and driving them to school.
But a careless driver can change your life in an instant. And insurance companies want to settle on the cheap. Auto Accident Help Desk connects victims with powerful lawyers. They fight for you.
I called Auto Accident Help Desk and got help for my pain and suffering.
Don't let an insurance company take advantage of you. Our attorneys fight and beat big insurance every day. If you've been injured in an automobile accident in the last 6 months, you owe it to yourself to make this free call with no obligation.
When I called, they asked me a few questions and matched me with a powerful lawyer who knew how to fight for me.
Call now. We're available 24/7 to help you get the money you deserve for your pain and suffering.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
Auto Accident Help Desk helps accident victims like you every day.
Call 800-613-4611. 800-613-4611. 800-613-4611.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. Dave Weishuttle here. You know, my home state of New Jersey has been doing amazing things in the gambling world, whether it be with casinos, sports betting, or now even eSports. There are some great people working hard to keep the Garden State at the forefront of gambling in this country. And I'm excited to talk to one of those people right now. Chairman of the Tourism, Gaming, and Arts Committee for the New Jersey Assembly, Assemblyman Ralph Caputo is on the phone. Assemblyman Caputo, thanks for joining us.
Good morning. It's my pleasure.
I got to tell you, looking at your background, I got to tell you, you have a unique knowledge of the gambling industry of New Jersey because not only are you a politician, but you actually worked in the casino industry. Can you tell us a little bit about your background with regard to the casino industry in New Jersey?
Well, I got into it around in the early 80s. It actually was 1980. I had a successful career in education, and, you know, this became a very exciting potential industry to get involved in. It was brand new in the state of New Jersey, and I had the feeling that if somebody had some talent and worked hard, that you could move up quickly. And it was a change in profession, but it was a wonderful experience, and it was a great time to be in Atlantic City, to see all the wonderful things that the gaming industry produced for that region and the state, the job opportunities for people all over the state and out of the state, the businesses that benefited from the casino industry, and the tax revenue that was derived out of the casino business that was helpful to the state and also through CRETA.
I got to ask you, has the gambling industry lived up to its potential in New Jersey? I mean, is it what everyone expected it to be for the state?
Well, it depends who you talk to, you know, I mean, and the time that you're talking about. I think, you know, Atlantic City had the potential of being the Paris of the Eastern Seaboard. I think they missed their mark somewhat because there was not diversified. The casinos were strictly there as corporations, and, you know, corporations can get greedy at times. I think the state of New Jersey was lax in terms of the taxation at that time because these casinos were making big money. I think the tax rate was very low. And, you know, I just think that, you know, everyone understands all the reports that have been written. There was not enough done in terms of raising the quality of life of the people in that region. So it's a strange, it depends who you talk to. A lot of people benefited. I was one of them. So I'm not going to be negative on the industry. I think it was great. I don't think enough people were involved. There were a lot of people that were unemployed that were hanging out on the streets of Atlantic City where they should have been employed in the industry itself. So yes, it was, and in some cases, and depending on your individual situation, in some cases, no.
You know, like I said, I grew up in the state, and I was there when they first allowed gambling. My grandmother and her sister every Sunday used to grab the Star bus over at a place called Eddie's Donuts in Trenton to go down to Atlantic City. And I know Atlantic City ran into some tough times throughout the years, but how has Atlantic City adapted throughout the years?
Well, you know, they got hit really bad a few years back when the 5 closings took place. They really missed their mark when they invested in the Revel at that time. It was a $2.5 billion investment, private and whatever, and public, some public money in there too. And eventually, through all the disasters, it ended up selling for $80 or $90 million. And then I think somebody picked it up for a little more. But, you know, a $2.5 billion investment down to that level, don't hold me to the exact amount, is a disaster because the market did not expand. Atlantic City was facing a downturn in the economy, and they were facing vicious competition, which they had never seen in the early years. So it was easy when you talk about the late 70s and 80s and 90s. But once competition started to set in around the state, Pennsylvania specifically, and New England, and of course now in Maryland and everywhere else, the challenges took place, and many of these casinos were over. They couldn't handle the debt, and they couldn't operate. So eventually it collapsed. The high year was 2006. Was the best year for casinos in the state of New Jersey, where they did $550 billion. And the state of New Jersey reaped a lot of tax revenue out of that. So we're down about a little more than half now. We're crawling back. Well, that's with the help of internet gaming and sports betting, and the fact that we have less casinos, and the fact that some of the casinos now that are operating with less debt. You know, the Castle was bought for like $40 million. Mm-hmm. That company put about $100 million in it. That place cost probably $400 million to build in 1986. Resort sold for under $40 million. And of course, I mentioned Revel. And the Taj Mahal, which sold for under $50 million. And of course, there's been a major investment there. So they're not dealing with the debt service that they had under the prior years before all the closings. That killed Atlantic City, who had 10,000 people out of work, the highest foreclosure rate in the country. So, yes, Atlantic City is doing better, and we want to see it succeed, but it's going to be tough.
You know, you mentioned the closings, and a couple of years ago when those casinos closed, it seemed to correct the market a bit in Atlantic City. But since then, two other casinos opened, the Hard Rock and the Ocean Casino. Are they fitting into the market well, and how are they affecting the overall gambling market?
I don't have my hands on every bit of the numbers at this point, but the revenue is going up in terms of Atlantic City from where they were, from where the closings occurred. However, that's spread among the casinos. Some are doing well and some are not. So in other words, it's only because you have additional casinos now compared to facilities that that closed that it seems that the numbers are going up, and hopefully they will continue to climb. But it's a challenge when you think about all of the destinations that people can go to within their own 50-mile radius. Mm-hmm. Now you have MGM going to Yonkers, which is going to make a major. They bought that facility over there, the racetrack, et cetera. That's going to take a lot of the New York market. Then you have Resorts World in the Queens, which is doing big money. And you've got casinos in the Poconos and the Catskills and everywhere else, and New England and Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Maryland. So there's only so many gaming dollars out there. What was great that happened for Atlantic City was the fact that we put internet gaming and sports betting, and we got a jump on it. And those numbers are helping Atlantic City survive. They're keeping the lights on. And Hard Rock is a great player. I mean, they have deep pockets, and they're really out there. But I don't know if they're cannibalizing the other properties. You have to talk to some of the other corporations. But I would think it's a lot of stress when you have two beautiful casinos like that. Now the Ocean Club, which is been retrofitted to a certain extent, and you have Hard Rock. They pull on the other casinos besides the other markets, so there's stress. It's difficult.
You know, I talk to a lot of marketing people from the different casinos, and you just mentioned it as well, and they all keep talking about the future of Atlantic City depends on diversification, showing that Atlantic City has other things to offer than gambling. Do you think that's the key for Atlantic City's future?
Yeah, but that's going to take a long time. Mm-hmm. See, what we tried to do with North Jersey casinos, relocating casinos up here, there were investors that were going to send hundreds of millions of dollars back there for non-gaming development, which would have been a win-win for the state and a win-win for the casino industry and for the gaming business. Mm-hmm. But we had outside interference from people that were operating outside of the state of New Jersey that put a tremendous amount of resources in there to defeat the referendum, and I think they really hurt the state of New Jersey with that, because I think Atlantic City would have been better off and I think gaming would be flourishing even more because just take a look at the sports betting numbers. Meadowlands, for example, is probably the best spot for sports betting in the world at this point. Mm-hmm. They made, I think, the bottom line, I think they made $56 million, something like that last year.
Well, now, I got to tell you,
that's because the dollars are here, and they're drawing on the New York, North Jersey market. That's why they're doing better than the casinos are with sports betting and some of the other racetrack because of their location. It's convenience gaming. That's what we were trying to sell, and it didn't work. To my disappointment, I think to the detriment of the people of the state in terms of tax revenue, et cetera, and also the potential redevelopment of Atlantic City for non-gaming activities. Because if you have a resizing of casinos, a reduction, they could still be profitable. But the other phase of this would be to bring Atlantic City in for tourism in general, other than gaming. And I don't think it's occurring, but it's going to take a long time.
You know, the one question we get a lot of at the show is, you know, you guys are from New Jersey, and you know the Meadowlands already has a sports book. Why aren't you getting a casino up there? Is that casino project pretty much dead in the Meadowlands, or do you see it coming in the future, or how do you see the Meadowlands and a casino up there?
I would say this: we see what the demographics and the revenue, disposable revenue, exists in that 50-mile radius. That was our argument. It didn't work because they had a huge campaign. A lot of resources were spent on Bad Bet Trenton, which I understand. They were looking out for their own particular interests. But they were not New Jersey people spending those resources. They weren't interested in the people of the state, the tax revenue, and the reinvestment of those dollars in South Jersey. They were interested in retaining their base in New York and North Jersey, which was ours. We had that base when we didn't have the competition. So what we were proposing was to place casinos up here in the Meadowlands and maybe Jersey City to retain those customers that we were losing. We weren't out to destroy Atlantic City. We were out to get back those customers that were not going to AC anymore. But we didn't have the resources were not spent on the yes vote. Now, as far as the future is concerned, that all depends upon how successful Atlantic City is. If Atlantic City becomes successful without any additional sites up here, then fine. But if it continues to contract, or other casinos close, or the market becomes so absorbed there because people will be going in their convenience areas, then I think maybe the state might take a look at it again. At this point, I don't think so. I think we ought to hold off and give Atlantic City an opportunity to succeed.
You know, since we brought up sports betting, it was a long road for New Jersey to get sports betting legal in the state. In your opinion, has sports betting been a success in New Jersey? Has it reached the potential that it could be?
Well, you know, everybody said it wasn't, but we did. In New Jersey, we've done $4.6 billion have been wagered in the first full year. It's amazing what's happened here. So I think it's been very successful in terms of bringing more revenue to the state, creating additional jobs, and also helping the struggling casinos that now have sports betting. I think it's an additional amenity. People come in and for any reason, you know, gamblers come in for any reason. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons they'll come in for it. So, especially with large sporting events, you'll see Atlantic City book a lot of rooms, and these people, whether they gamble at the tables or not, they'll pay for rooms, restaurants, etc. So this is something that's been very helpful to the Atlantic City district.
You know, talking to a lot of people in the sports betting business in New Jersey, you know, certainly one of the goals was not only to make money for the state, but it was important. Everyone points out it was important for New Jersey to stop losing money to other states. I mean, I stayed in New Jersey to watch the Super Bowl instead of going to Las Vegas. In your opinion, has sports betting helped New Jersey to stop losing money to other states? Oh,
absolutely. Absolutely. Sure. You know, it's convenience gaming.
Yeah.
You know, it's right here. And you know what it is also did? It's how about that judge or prosecutor or politician or just a businessman that has to risk betting illegally on a phone? It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
This made it a legitimate activity where people don't have to worry about being in jeopardy in any way, being vulnerable, and I think that's helped. And you know what? The $4.6 billion gives you the answer. That's the amount of business that's done. It's a lot of revenue.
Now, with regard to sports betting, you just introduced a bill in the Assembly which would legalize betting on esports in New Jersey. Tell us something about that. And when we're talking about esports, what would that entail, and why do you think it was necessary to propose this legislation at this time?
Well, this is the next big thing. People my age are not really that engaged in the technology of the world. The youth is totally involved in these electronic sports activities. It's a huge thing internationally. And we want to be ahead of the curve. We want to add that to our list of activities that can be bet on, like sports betting in the state of New Jersey. We hope that would bring events here because they're well attended. They could be at racetracks. They could be at arenas. They could be in Atlantic City. The one they had at the Borgata, I'm not sure if it was successful, but Las Vegas turned it down, and we did it here. But now we want to put this in stone, that this is a legitimate game to be bet on in the state of New Jersey.
Now, when you're talking about betting, the proposed bill, would this be at brick-and-mortar sport books as well as online as well?
It would be online. It would be in person, sure, just like sports betting.
Yeah, it's amazing how it's growing over the years. I know there's an eSports arena in Philadelphia. Now, talk to me about maybe what could this do for the businesses around a sports betting event with regard to eSports. Will it help the restaurants?
Anything that's going to add additional revenue to the state, I'm for. Mm-hmm. Anything that's going to make sports betting more successful, I'm for. This is something that, we've got to get ahead of the curve because this is billions of people are participating in this around the world. The difference here in the state of New Jersey, we're going to have oversight, and the Division of Gaming and the Attorney General's office is going to approve whatever game that's going to be posted. So we're going to have that kind of administration as we do with the other activities. So this is what we're headed for, and I think it's going to be a huge addition. I think it's going to be bigger than people think.
I got to tell you, esports, like I said, has grown incredibly over the last couple of years. I mean, owners of professional sports teams own esport teams. So it's really become very popular, very lucrative. And what has the response been with regard to your proposed legislation?
Well, we had 2 public hearings on it, and there was very little opposition. In fact, we had no one come in and testify against it. And what makes this so significant is that the Attorney General's office, under the leadership of Steve Finkel, he handles the legislative business with the legislature, and the director, Mr. Reebok, they are supportive of the bill. On top of that, we worked with them in developing this bill to make sure that it would be, appropriate under the present laws and would be meshed in with the other oversight provisions that exist.
One of the great things about what I've read about your proposed legislation is you're addressing some of the concerns that a lot of people had with regard to betting on esports, and that's the age of the participants. I mean, a lot of people don't like the idea of, there are kids playing these games and maybe it's a little weird betting on them, but you have some safety procedures in your proposed bill, right?
Yes, they have to. The majority of the participants, not the people that bet, have to be over the age of 18. Now that doesn't exist anywhere else. We want to make sure they're 18 years old or better.
Now, for people who want to keep up to date with regard to the progress of the proposed bill, which, by the way, is NJ A637, for anyone who wants to know about that.
Right. It'll be on Monday. It's going to be on this Thursday.
Oh, okay. So where could people go? Like, is there a website or is there a social media place where people can actually take a look at what's going on with the bill?
I guess they can look at a live stream right on the website. But I don't. Yeah. It's going to be considered in the Assembly Gaming Tourism Committee on Thursday at 10 o'clock. Okay. This is for an actual vote to release it, which means that it didn't go on the board yet to be voted by the whole Assembly, but it's going to be released on hopefully on Thursday.
After that, what kind of time frame were we talking about with regard to voting to make it into law?
As on leadership, we're going to request it immediately.
Okay. Assemblyman Caputo, we're running out of time, but I want to ask you, I think you mentioned it before, the casino and sports betting industry is growing in Pennsylvania. It's growing in New York. Casino and sports betting are starting to pop up in New England. How important is it for New Jersey to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to the gambling industry? And how important are bills like this?
Look what it did. Look what gaming did for the state of New Jersey in the first 10, 15 years. We didn't have any competition.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem is they didn't understand that they had to compete eventually. And that's the whole key to this. We're going to be first, but you're going to have to learn how to compete, which means you're going to have extreme quality oversight. The events have to be tops. All your technology has to be great. All of that, and so that people have confidence in the integrity of the game. Whatever game that goes on in the state of New Jersey, whether it be the table games, slots, sports betting, eSports, whatever, the integrity of the game has to be maintained. And people will have faith and confidence in that, and they will participate in it. But you have to be ready for the competition. So if you get out there in front, to stay out in front, you got to be able to deal with that.
Assemblyman Ralph Caputo, Chairman of the Tourism, Gaming, and the Arts Committee for the New Jersey Assembly. Thanks so much for coming on and keeping us updated on what's going on in the great state of New Jersey. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Money matters. Money always matters. If you owe thousands in back taxes to the IRS, how much can Tax Solutions Now save you?
I paid less than I owe.
That's right. Money matters. So call Tax Solutions Now and get the IRS off your back. Since 2014, Tax Solutions Now has been a leader in the tax resolution industry. That's why we say money matters. Remove wage garnishments, property liens, fines, and penalties. Qualify for the Fresh Start program or even uncollectible status. Money matters. How much can Tax Solutions Now save you?
I owed the IRS over $10,000. I paid a fraction of what I owed.
Call now to reduce or even eliminate your back taxes.
We were being audited. We couldn't sleep. We called Tax Solutions Now.
I called Tax Solutions Now and got the IRS off my back. Thanks. You saved us a ton of money.
Money matters. How much can Tax Solutions Now save you? Call now and find out.
Call 800-297-9788. 800-297-9788.
Turnpike Sports Book Report.
And the Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sports book. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E, and you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and $20 bonus at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, we're going to start with a couple national stories. And I talked about it briefly in the first exit today. IMG Arena has a deal in place now with the NHL to provide live NHL streaming to legal U.S. sports books that are partners with IMG Arena. Not all of them are going to have it, just one.
Just the partners, right?
Yeah, like FanDuel has it. And they're out-of-market games.
Okay.
It's not going to be something that's blacked out, it looks like. From what I've been reading on the releases and the articles looking at analyzing it, it's only going to be out-of-market games for wherever your sports book is.
All right. Okay.
And it's only the online sports books.
Oh, okay. And you're going to be streaming online? At
two games.
Okay.
Each partner will get 2 games to stream out-of-market. They've been doing this overseas for several years. I mean, they have the UFC and PGA Tour overseas, all that stuff. So we'll see exactly how much more the NHL expands the viewership. Everyone is saying betting on the NHL, it creates more fan engagement.
It does.
Yeah. And PointsBet is also an authorized gaming operator of the XFL now.
Great.
They will.
I did pretty well last week. I was 2-2.
I have not been able to get a handle on the XFL. I did the over the under for this last weekend games. I didn't win any of my games for the XFL. Maybe I'm not used to the players right now. And again, we just had another quarterback go down now. Landry Jones is going to be out for 2 weeks.
Sure, yeah. And DC, whatever their name is, I don't even know. They
DC Defenders.
DC, they look like they were going to be the team to beat after the first week, and they're just doing terrible now.
Well, again, it's a new league. No one knows anybody playing, so it'll be interesting to see how it evolves. The big story has been Nevada. For the first time in that state's history, they've actually delineated between retail and the mobile online sports betting.
Which is kind of weird that they haven't done that before, but whatever.
It's never been a big thing before.
Okay.
You know, New Jersey, when New Jersey launched everything, they made a big deal of the mobile versus retail split. And Nevada has never done that before.
Okay.
So they they finally did it. Let's see. They had a total handle of $502.5 million.
Now this is total online,
retail. This is retail and online. So $502.5 million.
Okay.
Their January handle of 2019 was 497.4. So their January 2020 was a little bit more than the total handle of the same time last year, January of last year. Online, they had $245.8 million in handle, which is almost 49%.
Which is really odd. You would think they'd have more people playing online. I mean, what does New Jersey have? New Jersey is like 85% usually, almost 90%. Pennsylvania is almost 90%. I'm shocked that
think about what you're saying. Think about what you're saying. New Jersey versus Nevada. Pretty much every town in Nevada has a casino.
Yeah, I guess.
Everyone in New Jersey, you've got either go to Atlantic City or you go to FanDuel and PointsBet up in North Jersey.
Yeah, but you
don't really have too much in between.
Yeah, but everyone, is home and laying on their couch. Where they're going to stand up and drive to a sports book.
Here's another thing. You also have an in-person registration requirement in Nevada.
Which is strange.
We don't have
Nevada.
that in New Jersey.
That's strange. That's ridiculous.
There's a lot of stuff.
Rhode Island, I can understand because they're new at this and they want to get some kind of feeling for who's signing up and they want to be cautious of who's signing up. But seriously, Nevada, you have to go and register.
But there's so many casinos there. I mean, the population centers are where the casinos are anyway. I mean, half the state's desert. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't think the in-person registration really is a factor, but it does add to it. And you have more people who can easily go to a casino than you have in New Jersey. New Jersey is all about the mobile.
Yeah.
And at some point, you're going to see that.
And Pennsylvania is even more than New Jersey. Pennsylvania almost hit 90% mobile.
New Jersey and Pennsylvania are both going to be 90 and 95% mobile at some point, more so than retail sports betting. But Nevada, I think you may see a 50-50 split for a little while longer than everybody else. Illinois is getting closer and closer to launching sports betting.
I've been hearing this for a year now.
Well, I'm
not getting Illinois at all.
Illinois is expecting to launch sports betting by March Madness.
Okay.
So in about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I'll believe it when I see that one.
They just gave out 7 licenses.
Good.
6 casinos and a racetrack. Actually, they gave out 6 licenses. The racetrack is still waiting. So Fairmount Park, I think, which has a deal with PointsBet.
Okay.
They're in Collinsville. They've applied for a license, have not yet gotten it, but multiple casinos have gotten their sports betting license. And according to all the reports, they're ready to start rocking and rolling when March Madness comes around.
Don't believe it. I don't believe it at all.
Well, what
Been hearing for about a year now.
How about D.C.? D.C. said that they're going to be ready for the Washington Nationals opening day game for sports betting, at least their app, which is run by Intralot. I don't know if that's going to happen. They've had so many delays on that one. I trust Illinois more than I do D.C., but again, we'll see what happens with everything. I think March Madness may be a little too soon for them. You might see them opening day baseball, too, if they don't hit March Madness right away. Massachusetts now is starting to make some noise in the sports betting industry.
Well, look, they have to do something. Their casinos are bleeding money. It's just ridiculous. They're not making revenue, and they're like far below their projections.
Well, they're bleeding revenue, and in certain casinos, they're just bleeding because of all the fights they're having.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on there.
It's interesting. They're good. They've introduced legislation. And according to the legislation, adults in Massachusetts would be able to bet on professional and Division I college sports in person and through web and mobile apps. The Mass Gaming Commission will be the ones writing the rules. Bettors would have to be 21 years old and physically present in Massachusetts. Now, they're expecting to get about $20 million in annual revenue. And I remember when Rhode Island launched, they were talking humongous numbers in terms of revenue, and they messed up on the projections. So you got to see exactly what happens with Massachusetts here.
Let me put it this way. I would believe that Illinois is going to get sports betting before Massachusetts.
Well, I think so, too.
But I don't think either are going to get sports betting anytime soon.
Well, they already had one set of
I know
legislation
Illinois is closer
away.
to it. I know Illinois wants to start this month, but Illinois is not going to start this month, and Massachusetts isn't going to start this year. So I can't believe Massachusetts would.
I don't know. I would expect Illinois, D.C., one of those two to go first.
D.C.
Massachusetts, I don't see this year.
D.C. I understand more. I think D.C. is a lot closer than anyone.
After all those fits and starts, I think they're closer. So we'll see what happens in Massachusetts. This is the second set of legislations that's going through the government there. The first one was Governor Murphy's that got rejected. So we'll see what this one does.
And the Turnpike Sports Book Report was brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sports book, available anywhere in New Jersey. BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE. That's PIKE. And you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and $20 bonus dollars at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And when we come back, it's by the numbers. I like this one because it's always interesting to try and figure out the numbers, especially that you pick out from the news stories this week.
Well, so, I will say this week's is torn scrotum free.
Oh, good, yeah.
As opposed to last week's.
So that number was 18?
18
I believe.
stitches.
Oh, God.
Go back and listen to that one. That one's
gross.
awful.
I'm not listening to that one. Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at BeanGenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to BeanGenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE. When it comes to online sports betting, PlaySugarHouse.com offers players one of the best experiences in the state of New Jersey. They offer live in-game betting on sporting events worldwide, moneyline bets, point spreads, prop bets, play-by-play bets, and many more. All at PlaySugarHouse.com, your new home for sports betting in New Jersey. Take advantage of one of their 12 easy deposit methods to get in on all the action. And now, when you sign up at PlaySugarHouse.com using our promo code PIKE, they'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, better odds at PlaySugarHouse.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome back to Turnpike Sports and the By the Numbers section, or what do you call this? Segment profile portion. The By the Numbers portion is sponsored by William Hill Online Sportsbook in New Jersey. Sign up at William Hill in New Jersey using promo code PIKE150 and take advantage of William Hill's best promotion to date. You'll get $10 free cash just for registering, plus a first deposit match up to $150. That's promo code PIKE150 at William Hill in New Jersey to get $10 free cash and a $150 $1 first deposit match. William Hill Sports Betting, America's #1 sportsbook. Get in the game, New Jersey. Must be 21 years or older and physically present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 800gambler.org.
I have to admit, I like that promo because all I have to do is sign up and you get $10 free cash. No deposit necessary for the
Which is
cash.
great. Yeah, normally you have to deposit
something to get the match.
Or they match it up. Yeah.
This is a free cash, and then you get a deposit match. So you get a double whammy there, which is good. All right, we're in the Turnpike Sports by the numbers segment, portion, part, whatever we refer to it as. And this is where we have the numbers tell the story. We're going to start off with $17 million. This is $17 million.
Well, I know this one because it's been all over the news. Is that Tony Romo you're talking about?
This is Tony Romo's new contract.
Wow. Unbelievable. He's making more money than most of the football players he's reporting on.
He's making more money than he made as a Cowboy.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
The most he ever made as a Cowboy was $17 million.
What do you mean? That's he tied, is it, right?
I'm sorry. He had 3 seasons as a Cowboys quarterback where he made more than $17 million. So he's in 10 years he's making $17 million a year. This is a 10-year contract with CBS.
So it's $17 million a year for over 10 years.
For over 10 years.
Wow. Okay.
They're very, very coy on how long the term of this contract is. Everyone is reporting 10.
Someone thought it was 10 years. And
a lot of them are reporting it's 10 or more.
Oh, okay.
So it's at least 10 years, $180 million. So it's going to be interesting to see. I was actually surprised when he started doing this. I didn't think he was going to be any good.
No, he was great. I mean, like, he actually called a couple plays that, he said, watch for this thing, and it happened, and it was, like, absolutely amazing. I mean, it's very insightful when you watch a game with him because you're learning more about football than you would think you would learn about just watching the game. It's ridiculous.
Well, the one thing that was surprising about this was the contract they compared it to was John Madden's broadcasting contract.
I don't think John Madden ever made $17 million, did he?
He made $8 million a year. He was the highest paid analyst. Wow. And when you adjust it for inflation, it's about the same amount.
Wow.
So
I didn't know John Madden made that much.
He was the highest paid analyst.
See, I thought he made all his money in real estate. He does real estate.
Well, he also had his little Madden bus, too, didn't
sure,
he?
and he has his video game that everyone's heard of, too.
All right, the other number is $1.1 billion.
I have no idea what this is.
That is the amount in revenue that sponsorship dollars alone will bring to the eSports industry by 2023.
Wow. Oh, boy. I knew they were growing. I didn't know they were growing like that.
Well, in 3 years, they're anticipating that amount just from sponsorships alone. Normally right now you have sponsorship, you also have advertising, you have media rights, and you have other types of payments going in terms of what else these games do with in-kind sponsorships, all that stuff. But this is sponsorship money alone. So cash is going to be flowing pretty good. And this is according to market researcher Newzoo.
Yeah, all right.
They released their 6th annual Global Esports Market Report. This year alone, sponsorship deals will generate $636.9 million. Total for the first 3 quarters of this year of sponsorship and media rights deals in terms of broadcasting, like on Twitch and YouTube, and we talked about this last week too. YouTube paid $160 million for a couple of years' rights for one of the esports leagues.
Yeah, I remember that.
They're going to be doing sponsorship and media rights. They're projecting $822.4 million, and they're expecting that to be the key for 2023. $1.1 billion is just sponsorship dollars alone. They're saying $1.2 billion total between sponsorships and media rights. So we're seeing a lot of growth, a lot of quick growth, as a matter of fact, in the esports industry. And the one last little tidbit they threw out there, in this year alone, China will overtake North America as the leading esports country.
Really? I thought they were the leader anyway.
Nope. North America is.
Really? Okay.
The entire continent. Canada, United States.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the continent.
Yeah.
Okay.
China will overtake North America.
Wow. Okay.
So, China is becoming a powerhouse in esports. I've also seen reports South America has gotten a growing esports industry too. There's a lot of stuff overseas. There's a lot of stuff South America because there's even 24/7 esports channel down in South America as well.
I didn't know that. Boy, it's really growing.
Yeah, so you're going to see a lot of this stuff, a lot of growth.
And that'll do it for us. My least favorite weekend is coming up, the weekend where you have to lose an hour of sleep. What is that, Saturday night? Which screws up sports on Sunday for me.
Is it daylight savings when you lose? Because daylight savings
fall
means you
back,
keep something.
spring ahead. We're
I know,
springing ahead.
You save an hour, don't you, the other time?
I don't know. All I know is I'm losing sleep. So, hey, enjoy the sports this weekend. Win some money at the sports books, and we'll see you next week on the Turnpike.